Hi everyone, so this is gonna be a video about my experience with driving Lyft Express ride. Excuse the lighting in the back. I'm sitting in the parking lot of the airport waiting. So right now it's like 5:30 p.m. on a Wednesday, and I am number 102 or 104 in the line waiting to pick up a passenger in the airport in Boston. This is gonna be my third or fourth time trying this again because the first time it didn't come out so good. I wasn't able to get the passenger. I went through the wrong entrance, and then I tried to come back around. It was gonna be another 10 minutes, and then I was trying to follow the right exits. I ended up leaving the airport, and in order for me to cancel the ride, I have to pick it up and then cancel it. I was trying to contact the passenger, but long story short, he ended up texting me saying that he was going to sue me and put in a lawsuit or a formal complaint with his lawyer in Lyft. But long story short, that didn't happen. But back to this Lyft thing. So I'm doing what is called Lyft Express, where you rent a car from Lyft. And tomorrow is going to be my first official week with them. So after taxes, in Boston, it's $266. They have some super strange quota that it's like the more you drive, you can pay as low as $19 a day for the vehicle. I was trying to do quick math and I couldn't get those numbers. The math that I got was just average 266 divided by 19, or I don't know, but the calculations that came to was that the car cost about $38 a day, right? So obviously the more you drive, you get rewards, but the rewards program this week are literally ridiculous. Like for the $95 extra rental rewards, is you have to have driven it's like the numbers are crazy. You had to have picked up 85 minimum rides. About 35 or 50 of them have to be during peak hours, and honestly the first half of this week the peak hours have been literally ridiculous. Like it was like one day it was like 4 hours, like divided into two separate sections. Today like peak hours is only like between like 4 and 7, then 9 and 11, and then obviously the weekend is gonna be longer. But like I don't know how people do this full time. Yesterday I got on at 7 in the morning. I picked up like 2 or 3 passengers, and then I had to get off for 6 hours. I couldn't log in for 6 hours, and then this happened around 12. So literally from 12 to like 6 something, I couldn't log in. So like all day I didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Because Boston has this law that says that as long as you're logged in for 14 hours, which I didn't know it was 14 hours, like not 14 hours straight, but 14 hours that you're logged into the app. So like if I log in for 2 hours and I get off for 30 minutes and go back on for 2 hours, all of that combined is 14 hours. So now imagine if I get off at like midnight and then I come back again at like 5:30, they're gonna kick me out for 6 hours, like literally. So like that's one thing that I'm learning that I would have to take into account if I were to do this full time. But like obviously if you're gonna do this full time, you need to also be doing Uber or doing something else. To my knowledge, there's only 2 major rideshare companies here in Boston, which are Uber and Lyft. I'm just waiting for Uber to reapprove me for the state of Massachusetts with my state transfer. So that takes some time. For me, it's taken a lot longer. Originally, it was supposed to be approved for September, but they needed to get a copy of my driving record to show that I was driving for at least a year. When I renewed my license, because it expired, it showed a new date, which it shows like I only got my driver's license in May of 2018. So then they didn't approve me because they said, oh, you've been driving for like less than a year, right? So then I had to wait to get my driving record from my state and submit that. And then by the time I submitted it, the original background check expired. So then I've been contacting them. And so then finally in November, they were like, oh, we'll resubmit the background check. The background check was never resubmitted. So then from the weekend of New Year's, literally calling them, and they just resubmitted my background check like 2 days ago. So it takes about 7 to 10 business days. And then in the state of Massachusetts, they have an additional background check which you have to go through to be able to pick up and drop off people in the city of Boston, which is called the Corey background check. So it's like, I think also California has some really strict laws like this, but it's like extra measures to make sure that you're a really safe driver, and then they go through like other previous background checks. So like, let's say something you would have been approved for in New Jersey or Pennsylvania, where their laws are not as strict for Uber and Lyft drivers, Massachusetts might deny you. But I have no tickets, I have no prior arrests, I have a very clean record, so I'm not concerned about it, you know what I'm saying? Because like, my stuff always gets approved. I'm a pretty decent citizen, I would say. And if you hear anything like really loud in the background, it's obviously, it's a very active parking lot, and there's planes like above me. So like with Lyft Express, so the rental is through Hertz. It's unlimited miles, and then every week it gets renewed automatically unless you come back for it. So I first got my rental on a Friday night, so it was prorated for that weekend. And then the second week technically we started on that Monday. Because even though my week is prorated for the rental, my paycheck still is the regular Lyft schedule. With Lyft schedule is Monday to Monday, right? So like, I think it's like 4 a.m. to 4 a.m. or something like that. So half of the money that I made on like last weekend went to the Lyft rental, because they hold the money from the rental first, and then you get paid the rest. And people are not really big on tipping. Like, I bought candy for people, like good candy, like M&M's, Reese's, lollipops, Dum-Dums, like name brand shit. And I have water bottles. Like, I have these mini water bottles that motherfuckers actually do drink, and nobody's really been tipping. And I'm nice. I don't play any music. I ask them if they want music. I have an aux cable. I have charging cables. This car is clean. So I don't understand what the issue is. I don't talk to people unless they initiate the conversations. All I do is say hello when they come in and ask them how they're doing. And then obviously based on how they respond or their body language, do I not say anything else, because I know that when I'm a passenger, half the time I don't want to be talking to nobody, and then sometimes I might strike up a conversation. It just depends. But whatever, the tips haven't been rolling in as I expected. There isn't much of a market, I think, here in Boston for Lyft as it was when I first started. So when I first started a couple months ago in the fall, because I was doing it super part-time, like probably less than 15-20 hours a week, it seemed like there's a big market. Or I think that because right now it's January and there really aren't any students here in Boston, like a lot of people probably went home for vacation, that there isn't a big market. But right now in January, it's not very busy, I don't think. Not for what I expected, and not for what I know New York City is like right now. So that's kind of annoying. I've been trying to really learn the markets. So there are a couple of parking lots that I usually go to. This is my 4th time, like I mentioned before, that I come to the airport. So in the airport, what's really strange, let me lock this door. So what's really strange is that they have a bathroom, which is nice, for the drivers, but for the women's bathroom you need a specific code to get in, and the men's bathroom is obviously open, which makes sense because any type of taxi service is a male dominated industry, like almost anywhere in the world. And so, you know, I asked for the code, they gave it to me. It was nice to see how clean the bathroom was, but at the same time, like, that toilet and that sink and just the bathroom in general look like some shit out of a shelter or a prison. Like, it's not the best toilet, but at least it's a toilet. And I am the type of person that if I really need to use a bathroom, like, I will find a place. Like, I have no issue with that. I have a military background, so I can, like, pee almost anywhere, which isn't a problem. And, you know, nothing against, like, toilets in prison or in shelter facilities, which I have been to both. I've never been arrested, but I have been to both shelters and prisons. And I've seen the toilet facilities, and obviously they're not the best. They're not the safest places either, the most hygienic places. But I think for a public bathroom, this one isn't too bad. And I do like the safety measure of the code, but I think that the reason they do the code is because they don't want that many men going into the women's bathroom. And then they do have a porta john outside, but it's locked. I didn't notice that. So for me, as a Uber and Lyft driver, when one thing I had to take into account is using the bathroom. So I obviously haven't been drinking as much water as I should, and I can tell by the color of my pee and how dry my throat is. Like right now, my throat is like very dry. And the other thing is, I have to limit the amount of water that I drink because I obviously am going to be on the road and I don't have the availability to use the bathroom all the time, where I think a guy can like literally go anywhere with no issues. Me, not so much, because it would require me to do a lot more things. So I'll see you guys later. Okay, so the lighting is probably worse now because I'm in the back of my building's parking lot, but it's not my parking spot. Anyways, before I got that call, which I was so excited, I like made $20 at that last ride, and he was really nice, which was cool. But it was kind of confusing. Like I said earlier, the airports are effing confusing, and the GPS does not help at all. Because apparently there's a specific parking lot where I can pick up the passenger, and then I need to have like a sheet of paper that is my license, like my permission from the state of Massachusetts to be able to pick up in the airport. I have an electronic version. You need to have it printed out. So I was just nervous. I was hoping that the cops wouldn't stop me. So I definitely need to find out more from Lyft what exactly are the rules and regulations for picking up passengers in the airport, to make sure that I don't get like a crazy like ticket or anything like that. So let me sit here because I think that's where you can see me better. And let me lock my door. So even though this is like a weird parking lot, it's actually also a very active street behind me. So you might see some cars and hear some weird stuff. Why is my kitchen light on? Okay, so anyways, as I was mentioning before, for the Lyft rental rewards, so for the minimum is $95. So I have to do at least 85 rides. Of those 85 rides, 35 of them have to be during peak hours, which for this new year, the first half of this new year, the peak hours are very limited, like literally limited. And then my acceptance rate has to be at least 90%. So my acceptance rate right now is 96, and that's because at the end of my day, of like my driving day, I was not picking up another like passenger. I was like, nah, I'm tired, like I'm falling asleep, I need to go home. So the first like 2 days, that's why my let me see. Okay. So that's why my acceptance rate is 96. I'm gonna have my chapstick. So right now I'm gonna stay on the app for a while, but I'm gonna be driving around, and I need to figure out how exactly does this 14 hours work, because 14 hours, where is it straight, or is it like, do I take my interval? So like, let's say I want to stop for like a 30-minute break or something, I turn it off, but then in the long run those 30 minutes will cost me, because let's say that I sat around for like 4 hours not doing anything. That's 4 hours I didn't make any money, but then later on in the week those 4 hours will cost me, because like yesterday I took rides between 7 and 12, and then like around 12:30 the app was like, okay, logging you off, and you can log on for another 6 hours. And then between 12 and 6 yesterday, that's when the rides were the highest, but I couldn't get online. You know what I'm saying? Then I get back online like at 6:40 after the 6 hours, and I pick up like one person between like 6 and 11. So I was like, I'm wasting gas driving around, I might as well just go home. The draft, or the statistics are like really low as far as like the average number of passengers that request Lyft during this time. So I'm really hoping that Uber will re-accept me into the app, so like that I can start driving again and I can have two options. I've tried doing Uber Eats and Lyft at the same time. That's confusing. I don't know how people can do two apps at the same time. And this light is like harsh. Like it's, let me say something. Okay, that's a lot better. That light is just like strong and in my face. I am not tired. I think I'm gonna go upstairs for a few minutes so I can grab something to eat because I am hungry. I have apples that I keep in my car, so I can munch on the road. But I want like food, and I'm very hungry, and I don't want to spend money. So also, because my rental rewards renew each Friday, right, or every Thursday. Starting tomorrow, all the money that I make will go towards the rental rewards. So with the rental rewards, in Boston, after taxes, is $266. And you divide that by 7, that comes out to about like $40 a day or something for the rental. You do have unlimited miles, and you do have to do at least 20 rides. And then there was an email that was sent out that said that starting next week, the rental rewards will be different. So the numbers will be different. So I want to see how this shit is going to go, because Lyft, y'all stressful. Y'all take a lot of money off the top and like make it nearly impossible for somebody to earn. And then during the onboarding process, they said that there's this guy who works 14-hour days and brings in home $2,000 a week after like the rewards and stuff, right? Or like after all the payments are taken out. Can you imagine? Like that means that you only have a few hours to yourself. Like that means that you only have 10 hours like to yourself, right? That's intense. Who is trying to be on the road 14 hours a day? Like, I just want to make money and I want to be my own boss, but this is hard and this is difficult. But I am going to combine the videos and upload it, so I'll see y'all later. Peace out.